Hi everyone, MJ here, and let me just, yeah, hi chat view. Okay, good, good. I want to make sure that we just have the widget. Hi chat view. Okay, this should be good. Yeah, okay, there we go. Hey bud, how you doing? Well, I can give you a field day contact, but it'll have to be on Echo Link. I don't know if Echo Link counts, but yeah, we can do that. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna take my mask off. I got my little mask holder today. Oh, so now you won't believe what I got. Here's what I got on my table today. I'll just show you like this. This is our thumbnail, and I've got a up in the top right-hand corner is kimchi, and down below it I got soy sauce and eggs. You know, I was thinking I haven't had just plain good old soy sauce and eggs in a long time. Then on the left is the plate of food that I got. Now, let me show you these one at a time. That is the kimchi, and Win made this herself. Yeah. And I know it won't count. I don't have a station set up to be able to give you an actual over-the-air ham radio contact, unfortunately. Now this has this is a deep fried chicken and marinated pork, and boy, this is good. And then of course, this is what I used to get a long time ago, was soy sauce and eggs. That was even a meme for a while for us, if you guys remember. Anyway, I want to say hi, and I got something that I want to show just for Dave, because I know Dave likes this kind of stuff. I saw this today in the store, and let me go ahead and make that as big as I can. These are black truffle potato chips, and you'll notice they have a Japanese title on the bottom, and up on the very top next to where it says Winded Chips. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Just talking about you. I said that this was just for you. I know, doesn't it? No, I didn't get any. I didn't get them, but that's okay. That's okay. And I was just showing, you know, the stuff that I got here tonight. And I actually shared this picture with Dave before I came on. How's everybody doing? All right, of course, what happened tonight is I'm sitting here all by myself, and I ordered all this food, and it all came, and I lined up everything. I had everything all ready in Prism, and then a bunch of customers came. That always happens. So anyway, they're looking at me, and that's okay. I'm just showing myself, so it's not a big deal. So today, my daughter, Phoenix, went roller skating, and I used my gimbal. And I have a little Bluetooth remote control that I can use to snap, you know, the shutter. And so I use my gimbal to follow her. And it ends up, you know, for just using my, you know, camera phone, phone camera, ends up pretty good. You know, I can get a nice background blur and just keep it on her. She's actually just a beginner. So this is her at the rink. She's 8 years old and already, you know, very, very tall. And as I just want to, just a little, you know, clip of her just going around the circle there. So that was fun. So welcome everyone. I'm drinking. This is 16 tea, but this is not tea. This is whiskey. So before we get too far along, I would like to ask everyone if they would not mind giving me a like on YouTube, and if you would not mind giving me, let's see if I can find it, yes, please subscribe on YouTube. That's where I need the subscriptions. That's where I need everything. So yes, that's That's where I need it. I appreciate it. So these are those eggs, and I haven't had these for quite some time. But it's kind of a shame because, see, when I used to be on the other side before it kind of got overrun, I used to get these eggs every time I was on. You guys remember that? People over here smoke, and there's nothing worse than trying to eat with people smoking. And they usually smoke when they're done eating, so it's, you know, okay for them. I'm still eating. Just like the old days. Now, this is what we call pao thai. It's fermented. This is kimchi in anglicized Korean. And Wen made this. She made it weeks ago, and it is heavy on the ginger, man. Boy, is it good. Hang on, there's some kind of a fiber I don't want. But yeah, here's that's a big slice of garlic. This is definitely kimchi, but it has a slightly different flavor. It's still good. Nice and spicy. Now there's other stuff that I showed you with the big plate. Boy, oh boy. Hey Cliff, how are you? Nice to have you with us. A fist bump to you and anybody else who I missed. Always a pleasure to have you with us. I'm doing my usual thing, Cliff. Stuffing my face with all this amazing food we have here in Taiwan. I'm drinking a little bit of whiskey along with it. And Uncle Bud is asking me here, they're giving me a winter field day contact. Uncle Bud's a ham radio operator, and he means, can I give him a ham radio contact? Because I'm a ham radio operator too, but no. I don't have a station set up in Taiwan. Oh, they didn't give me the white pepper, do they? So this is cayenne pepper on a piece of cubed deep fried chicken. And you know, when they do certain foods here like this in the deep fryer, they always throw in like a handful of basil. And this is holy basil. This is highly prized in Asia and in Asian cuisine. And I gotta tell you, it's even used in Chinese medicine. And this stuff works wonders, but they just throw it in. It just gets like, I guess the word is blanched, but like really quick, you know, within 2 seconds they take it out. Deep fried. And they do the same with sliced white onions, but for a little less time. As far as ham radio goes, Uncle Bud, I haven't checked in a while, but I know that for a period of time, it seemed like the scene was changing every week. And with the strengthening of ties in the United States with Taiwan, if the United States gave ham radio reciprocity to Taiwan, I could get instant reciprocity because I'm an extra class. I'm the old school extra class where I got mine in 1988 and I had to pass the 20 words per minute, you know, Morse code CW test. But here, the only thing I can do now is I could, even though I have permanent residency, I've got a green card. I could get permanent resident. I have permanent residency. I can get a temporary operator's permit to operate at somebody else's station. Now my wife is a citizen, so she could get a station license. It's funny. I could set up a ham radio station in my wife's name, and then I'd have to get a permit to operate it, and then I would have to re-up the permit every, I think it's 90 days. Now the funny thing is I have a 2x1 call from the 80s, which means it's two letters, a number, and another letter. And my ham radio call sign is NV1L. That's November Victor 1 Lima, NV1L. Now the interesting thing is Taiwan has a prefix of BV. It would be just so cool if I could get a license and get the call sign BV1L. Fortunately, I don't think that'll happen. Because in ham radio, see, with the United States, there's different regions, and like New England is region 1. A little further south than Newark here is region 2. So I got my license in Massachusetts, so I have a 1. If I got my license in New York, it would have a 2 in it, and like that. Here they do it on zip codes. Where I live here, this is zip code 03. So if I got a ham radio license here, hey Mark, fist bump to you. If I got a ham radio license here, it would be like BV3. I'm probably a 3-letter suffix, which kind of sucks. I'm a Morse code operator, primarily. I don't really like voice. I like CW. And years ago I was invited to, I actually have been Chinese. I got a ham radio club ball cap. I should wear it on one of my broadcasts. But in Taiwan, I got invited to the ham radio club there. And I met a lot of guys. See, all these guys are from the military. And they all love CW. So I'm like, oh man, I wish I could get on the air just like, because some of these military guys, their codes sound so good, their timing is so good. We call it having a good fist in ham radio speak. Somebody who has a good fist is very good at Morse code. And some of the Russian operators that I used to work back in the late 80s and early 90s were all military. And some of those guys with a straight key, not an automatic key, or what we call an iambic keyer, just a straight key. Where you're actually by hand. Some of those guys sounded like they're making music. Pretty amazing. And so these guys were all military, and it's really funny because we couldn't communicate quite as well in Chinese, because sometimes I don't know the name of a country in Chinese, how to say Chinese, and they know how to say the name of a country in English. But they would just say a call sign prefix, and according to the ITU table of international prefixes, I would automatically know what country they're talking about. It's hilarious. So like they wanted to ask me, did you have any contact with CU? And I know they mean Cuba, because Cuba is CUNCO, and some things like that. So they're really amazing. All right, and Taiwan is has several prefixes, but the most famous one is BD, and China has BY. And I gotta tell you, I know China would like to say that Taiwan's part of China, but even the International Telecommunications Union recognizes that Taiwan has to have its own international radio prefix, and that goes for commercial radio too. Because once these call signs were allocated around the world, this is a long time ago, it's in the early 20th century, they stuck. And it's not just for ham radio, it's for everything. For example, the United States is what we call WANK, W-A-N-K. It's an easy way to remember it. All radio call signs in the United States begin with either W, A, N, or K. Like commercial broadcast radio is divided. I think it's the Mississippi River. I'm a broadcast engineer, I should know that. But in the East Coast, they're all W, like WBZ, WBCN, all the, The West Coast are all Ks. But there are other radio services besides, commercial broadcast AM and FM. And like amateur radio uses all of those. Like my friend Colby, he's AE1U. So Alpha Echo 1 uniform. My call sign begins with an N. So there's the WA and NK. Now Japan has a number of prefixes, and like most countries, there's a domestic and an overseas territory, which the United States has too, but they do it in a little different way. But for example, if you hear like a JA call, and the numbers would be according to the areas and the prefixtures. But if you have like a JA1, you know that was mainland Japan. But the different islands and different places, like Okinawa has its own prefix because of J, and it's something else. I don't know what it is. I don't remember. But here's the thing. My father gave me the mission planning map from his B-24 bomb group that they had in their shack that they used to plan missions. This map is of tremendous historical value, and I have given it to two Taiwanese researchers who used it in a book that they wrote about Taiwan's role in World War II. And the amazing thing is, it has bearings and distances in nautical miles to actual bombing targets around the Hong Kong area and even into the Mekong Delta. So because of that map, we know where those Japanese installations were at that time. But the interesting thing is, the map is full of call signs. And so if you look at what they call French Indochina, all the call signs begin with the allocation for the French countries and the French overseas territories call signs. And then you look at the Japan overseas call signs, and the very interesting thing is all the stations in Taiwan have the Japanese overseas call sign, because during World War II, Taiwan was owned legally by Japan, which is a piece of history that the Chinese Communist Party would not like everybody to know. They would like you to forget that. Because you've heard the rhetoric, Taiwan is a part of China. Taiwan has always been an inseparable part of China. Judges? I can hear Alex Trebek. No, I'm sorry. Hasn't. And there's a treaty that proves it. The Treaty of Shimonoseki, which states that the Qing dynasty, who never actually ruled Taiwan either, but just claimed it, ceded Taiwan to the Empire of Japan to perpetuity. And the U.S. military government in World War II took it back. I don't know why. This is strange. Nobody understands why it happened, but the status of Taiwan is undetermined. And to this day, that is the official party line in the United States. They allowed the nationalists from China who lost the war against the communists to flee to Taiwan and occupy Taiwan. But the goal was for them to retake the mainland. And there are places in Taiwan you can walk around and see military slogans from that era, from the 50s, that said, you know, we're going to retake the mainland. Pretty interesting. So, the Republic of Taiwan, here, Taiwan, right? I mean, excuse me, the Republic of China on Taiwan, technically, claims China. So, depending on your viewpoint, China is actually part of Taiwan. Anyway, not very political, but that's the story. And that's just the verifiable truth. You could just look this up for yourself. All right. I need some more ice. And because I'm drinking whiskey straight today. So I'm going to play a bumper. I'm going to turn this up from my favorite live streamer and your favorite live streamer too.
Hi, this is Dave in Osaka, live from Greenland, and you're watching Taiwan Live TV with MJ Klein.
That is just so amazing because, you know, the first thing that you do when you're on vacation in Greenland and, you know, you're on a boat and you're floating around some icebergs and the scenery is just amazing, then it's something like, hey, I got to make a video for MJ. That's crazy. But I'm so glad. All right, so we're having a good time. This is an interesting discussion. We have a couple of milk any junk. So yeah, we have a couple of how should I put this? We used to say looky-loos in the United States, but I don't know if that's a good term or a bad term. But I was talking to the phone, and he said, what? And I said, I wasn't talking to you, but anyway. One of the things, I'm going to be honest with you, one of the things that I dread is when, because I've lived in this neighborhood for a long time, it's far away from the more sophisticated areas like Taipei, Kaohsiung, Taichung, these other places where people are highly educated and there's a lot of, let's just say there's a lot of people that look like me. Here in this neighborhood, there's almost nobody. And some of these guys come in here and they've never seen anybody like me in the neighborhood. Freak out. No. I give what the foreigners will call the Hitler salute. You know. So a couple of guys made a point to stop and give me the salute. What can I tell you? That's really great. Because I've got the marinated pork and some of the chicken. And I've got this holy basil and the onion. It's a good combination tonight. Now, I will say this, since the announced demise of Periscope, my numbers on Periscope have been dismal. Like right now, there's this many people on Periscope, and I usually have at any one time somewhere like, I don't know, 15 to 30 or whatever. And then, like right now, I've got just one viewer on Twitch, which has never been. 后面有中文。Look at my whiskey. 44度，44度。对。
都喝58度。
不是。Yeah, yeah. So they're looking at my liquor.
一瓶多少？一瓶多少分力？
等一下，我忘记了，就是因为我不在乎啊，应该这个应该620。
620，那么便宜。台湾的，
对啊，
台湾的 money。
当然。
哦，哪里有在卖？
爱买。
爱买。
对。在那个。
竹北。
对，就是公交屋啊。
对啊，
那边对，So they're asking me about the wire. 你看，如果不好喝，我什么都喝。不可能这样。应该不错啊，你可以试试看啊。
大哥，大哥，你住哪里？你哪？住外国哪边？
这边。
没有啦，我是说你外国住哪里？哪一国的？比较香啊。
我不住外国，我住台湾。
我知道啦。
你说你小时候啦，
出生地
哪里？
美国。
美国。
Yeah.
很有意思的哦。
Yeah， 没有关系啊。
哪一个州？
东北。
东北哦。
对，你知道sorry guys， 你知道那个波士顿那边？对，那边对东北啊，对龙虾，你知道哎？对。这是的，he said
对啊，波士顿龙狮呀。
I said Boston. The first thing he said was lobsters. Pretty funny. 啊？
你在做直播哦？
直播对。
你有在卖东西哦？
就是每个礼拜，对，就是你问他这边应该礼拜4还是礼拜天开直播？
好赚吗？可以赚钱吗？
对，就是直接放啊，对啊。
有钱赚吗？
什么意思？
赚 money？
没有啊。
没有 money 的哦。
不需要，对。就是 ask me about the excuse me live streaming and do I make money from it? So yeah. Anyway. 我们就是讲话给他们看我是什么东西。I'm having trouble understanding the accent. I don't know why. Oh, the boss is at my rescue. They were asking me what country I was from, and what I think was an unusual You might be phrasing it. I think he just said, no, where you born? Okay. I'm going to tell you though, I really don't like to get into it, because around the world, people have this idea about America. It's not right. It's not true. I had a guy I was walking down the street in Bangkok one time at night, and a guy saw me walking. He didn't know who I am. Didn't ask me anything, and I swear the funny thing is he stood on a sidewalk and blocked me, and as I was walking up to him, he dropped to his knees and he grabbed my hand and tried to kiss it. I'm not kidding. He's a Thai guy, and he was going, America, America, America. And I was like, will you get off of me? What is wrong with you? And so the other thing too is this is like the last day of January. February 5th, like a couple of days from now, will be the 17th year, that's 17th year that I've lived in Taiwan. I have no earthly idea what's going on in America. I moved to Taiwan in 2004. I went to America to visit my family for a month in 2006, then in 2008 for a month, then in 2010 for a month. I didn't go back to the United States until 2018 because I wanted to see a doctor, and I only spent 4 days. So from 2010 to 2021, I've spent 4 days in the United States. I would say I have no idea what's going on there. So that's the other reason that I don't like to make a big deal about, and I definitely don't like to tell the Filipino people around here, because then it starts into 50,000 questions about why I don't want to live in the country that their parents have been telling them since they were a baby, that the streets are paved with gold, and if you want to get rich, go to America. And I'm telling them that's not true, and they don't believe me. So I don't really like to tell people I'm from America because it has no bearing on my life in Taiwan, where I'm from. I'm, for all intents and purposes. The thing is, I get called a foreigner every day, no matter what. I have permanent residency here. I don't have to have a job. I don't have to be married. I don't have to do anything. And I can't be deported out of the country. I have permanent residency, but I'm always referred to as a foreigner. But if somebody in the United States has the same status, they're automatically an American. I've asked Taiwanese people, so what do you call a Taiwanese person who moves to America and gets a green card? They go, he's American. I said, okay, so what do you call an American that moves to Taiwan and gets a green card? They go, foreigner. I said, yep, that's it. And so I just don't really want to talk about it. I mean, January 20th, I was sitting over there, and a Taiwanese guy that doesn't even really hardly ever talk to me about anything, the first words out of his mouth was, hey, how about that Biden? I don't know, how would I know? I don't vote. Sorry. I just hit the stamp. Now I got a lot of this kimchi left, right? But the kimchi is a good food if you want to lose weight. And it's so spicy and satisfying, really. So, now we haven't had any comments for a long, long time. You guys still with me? Alright, so today I started using the Surfshark VPN, and I am very impressed with it. So you'll see me talk about the Surfshark VPN more and more as time goes on. Alright folks, listen, I'm sorry. The walk is over here going like crazy. Like, I can barely hear. These guys are talking over it, they're yelling. I'm going to sign off. I know you're having trouble hearing me. And also, I just don't want to rebroadcast the conversation these guys are having. So I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much for joining. You take care. Thanks for watching Taiwan Live TV. Please subscribe on YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.